Time for a halftime conversation with the commissioner of the GCAA, Dave Elder. Dave, it's been a few months. How you been doing?
Good morning, Robert. Yes, baseball, softball was last time we uh, were in the same location together. But look, you had a busy summer with Babe Ruth baseball and all the other stuff that you do, and I had time to regroup. So we're back at it for another year.
Somehow I think that your regrouping was probably pretty active too, though. Let's talk about some regrouping. I understand that Andrew College is going to move into the NAIA, kind of following in the footsteps of ABAC. What does that do to the conference?
Well, it means one less school for the conference right there. Now we've lost two, and it's been over the course of the past 10 years. We lost a number about 10 years ago. I think it was 2018. We lost Darton, Middle Georgia. We lost several through consolidation. We lost several that Young Harris, that went up for to go to NCAA D2. So, we only have so many schools in the state, so we're not adding members. It's just sort of a realignment, just I guess a natural progression of everything because there's no true junior colleges anymore, and all our schools that are now state colleges, which once were junior colleges, are now offering 4-year degrees. So it's just the natural thing there. Where will it go? I don't know. Andrew will be gone. We hate to see them go. They've been a longstanding member of the conference. Uh, we'll probably have a few others. I just East Georgia just merged with Georgia Southern, but they're keeping athletics at least for a year. I've gut feeling is I think we're going to see more across the board, which that'll be a reduction for us.
And with seeing this more, I am hearing, with those who are thinking 3, 5 years down the road, what you do when you've got a smaller conference, I'm hearing conversations about partnering or joining with other conferences in other states. Is that a possibility at some point?
Well, of course, let's go way back when, even before I first got into this, I'm talking back the NJCA history back into the 70s and that time. Georgia and Alabama were considered one conference. And then, Georgia added more schools, Alabama added more schools. They divided it up. So there were two separate regions there. Things like that have happened. So, if we get down below a certain number, if we get down to the lower single digits, which could happen by that time, hey, I'll probably be retired. Uh, I'm getting close there anyway. I'm on year 28 right now. So, but I could see that happening. And if we have other schools that leave and go NAIA, which there is talk of that. I mean, we can't keep that elephant quiet in the room any longer. It's out there. There's the discussion of that. If we have other schools that go NAIA, if we have more mergers, which I've been told directly by a high source that that's probable. But who knows? Things can change. Uh, you get a new political leadership in Georgia. Everything revolves around so many different factors, financial, all those things with institutions can play a part in where things go. And so we could be going down one road today, and 2 years from now, all of a sudden we've met the Y in the road and we've taken a different turn. So there's a lot of things you can think will happen, but until they actually do, we really won't know. But we won't be adding more. We don't have that luxury. I wish we did. So, if we're at 11 right now, we'll be at 10 with Andrew leaving. I think if we got down to six, that would happen. I could see really going back to Alabama, Georgia, possibly. It would be a recommendation of mine that if we got down that low, it only makes sense to go back because one region with only six schools, you might have maybe three baseball teams or three basketball. You can't run a conference like that. And it's not for lack of adding schools. There's no schools to add because the way the University of Georgia is broken down, there's the top six, which are your research institutions, your middle tier, which is your a lot of your NCAA D2s like a West Georgia and North Georgia College, things like that. And then you have the third tier, which are the state colleges, which are the old junior colleges. So that's where we are. And TCSG, the technical system, that's not their mission. Their mission is workforce readiness. So most of them don't have facilities or housing. So the ones that we have are special in that sense.
And we're speculating. And I know a lot of folks don't like to speculate, but let's just say that scenario presents itself and has to happen. Who all has to sign off on that? Does the conference, does the NJCAA admin, who all?
Probably, I mean, what you would have, it would have with the conference, the national office, the board of regents, NJCA board of regents, that would have to be approved because that would be a big deal. Would probably come from a committee at one point in time. We did have a region alignment committee. Years ago, I was chairing that. Uh, so things, things could change, and those things change nationally as well too. So we have some schools nationally that are along the border in one region, but it's better for them to play in another region just from geographical location. So things like that, for them to do that, that has to get approval from the two regions, then the national office and all that. So there's a number of hoops that have to be jumped through, that have to jump through for that to happen.
We are in football season, but I know there's a basketball and baseball showcase coming up. Tell us about them.
Yeah, we've got a basketball showcase. Normally, past year had been like a couple day thing where each school would have it, and coaches, 4-year coaches, would go to those schools. This year we call it the Peach Show, and it's just going to be in one location. That's at South Georgia Tech in Americus, and that's going to be September 13th. And we'll post that out on social media. I think today's Wednesday. I think it's going out tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Posting. We're going to start blasting that out tomorrow on social media. So that'll be there, and all of our schools will be there all day. They'll start early at 9 o'clock and run till 7 in the evening. So they'll be there all day. So 4-year coaches don't want to miss that one and be there. And then the next one that we have is we've got our baseball showcase on September 23rd, and that's at a place you and I are familiar with, PBR Lake Point up in Emerson.
Mhm.
Uh, our schools will be there, and they'll be doing batting practice, infield, playing some scrimmages. And it'll be an opportunity also for 4-year coaches to take a look at some of the players that we have.
Is that exclusively the purpose of the two showcases, to give those 4-year institutions kind of a glimpse or a first look at these players?
I think the main purpose is to get our players, our student athletes out there, let them be visible. And then listen, when you've got everybody in one location, that makes it easy for 4-year coaches. Hey, you just come to one location, you can see a lot of talent in one day. And the landscape of recruiting and LOIs and all that stuff on the 4-year level. I mean, and with coaches, it's really the conversation with coaches, really, that's the best avenue for 4 years to know about other players.
The selections for hosting conference championships in 2026, has that been decided yet?
Well, of course, what we've got, during our fall right now, soccer will be at the highest remaining seed. We'll host that. Then we get into basketball, and that hasn't changed. We'll have our quarterfinals on that Monday and Tuesday, latter part of February, 1st of March, and then the higher seeds advance. The highest seed will host the semis and the finals. The women's will be on that Thursday, Friday. That guys will be on Friday, Saturday, just like we've done the past couple of years. Baseball right now. We have a bid for ABAC to host. Our athletic directors are meeting on the first week in September to approve that. What I think that'll stay, I'm not really sure at this point. And then softball will be at Georgia Highlands in Cartersville.
And so the only spot that changes, at least preliminarily, is softball coming
That's
from Strong Rock back to Georgia Highlands.
that's correct.
All right. Um, Tell us about this football season that now includes, of course, it did last year as well, but you got Central Georgia Tech, you've got Andrew College briefly, and you got obviously Georgia Military College. I was thinking maybe it was going to grow into a conference that, got nationwide recognition, like the Kansas Conference and the Mississippi Conference. But with Andrew College leaving, is that changing things?
Well, I mean, football is sort of sitting on the fence right now nationally anyway. It's a tough sport. It takes a lot of money to fund it. Uh, for example, Lackawanna College, which I know you've gone to cover Georgia military play Lackawanna, they're moving up to the 2-year status, excuse me, up to the 4-year status, NCAA D2. That's going to be a big jump for them. But that fits them too, with them offering the degrees and everything. So that goes back to our original conversation about everything just, is going through a change right now. So Georgia military, we've always had, it's been Georgia military. We had Middle Georgia for a few years. Now we got Central Georgia Tech. Uh, you know, we don't have the luxury, unfortunately, of a Mississippi, Texas, Kansas, but everybody knows it's tough all around. We had a whole league in Arizona, and that money killed that. So it's just one of those things. Tennis, for example, tennis used to have Division 1, Division 3, and now we're just one division now. So the Division 3s are having to step up. So it's changes always change, and we're going to get it. And so we're trying to see how it works. And Georgia military will be here for the long run, regardless of who we have. And it just makes them, as an independent, they have to work harder on scheduling. Have to travel places that Kansas and Texas and Mississippi schools don't. But if they go win those games, then they've got an opportunity to be where they were last year.
And you've got a behind the scenes look. What about the state of junior college football? Because it is dwindling. The number of teams participating is dropping. Do you foresee a continual drop? I mean, is junior college football safe?
I think so. I really do. Those that are, they're fully vested in it are fully vested. They see the benefits of it, and it's one of those things. You've got to be able to fund it. And it takes a lot of money to fund football. It really does. So if an institution across the country wants to get into it, they've really got to back it. You see some schools that they try to go the route of basically having somebody in part-time, having the kids pay for all their equipment, all the uniforms. I'm not an advocate of that. You see that a lot in a lot of the prep football teams. And I just, that's something that more of a private conversation of, let's just say that I'm not one who agrees with that method of having football. I believe if you're going to do it, you do it right and fund it.
Well, Dave Elder, you've been doing it right for 28 years now as the commissioner of the GCAA, and we appreciate you taking the opportunity to chat with us at halftime. I'm sure our paths will cross soon.
Well, I know they will, Robert. Hey, thank you for all that you do for us and Georgia military football this fall, and everything that you've done for the conference, and being able to stream for us. And yes, we'll talk soon, brother. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dave Elder.